One Piece is one of my favorite manga and anime franchises ever, and that's the same for a lot of people. But even though it's beloved by so many people, I feel like most have little to no exposure to most of the currently released One Piece films, besides like the last few. Which is why I decided to take up the challenge and will review each of the 14 One Piece films, and will rank them all at the end. Now, that being said, I'm actually not talking about one of those movies today. One Piece, Defeat Him, The Pirate Ganzack is an original video animation produced by Production IG, who are pretty acclaimed. They made anime like Psycho Pass, Haikyuu, and fucking Ghost in the Shell. And it's directed by Goro Taniguchi, who evidently directed both seasons of Code Geass, my favorite show ever. Needless to say, I'm going into this with incredibly high expectations. Now, you may ask, if it isn't a part of the 14 mainline movies, why am I reviewing it? Well, it's simple. It is actually the first animated piece of One Piece content ever, so I thought it would be fun to talk about it. It actually predates the anime by over a year, and has a totally different cast, which might be kind of hard to adjust to, but without further ado, here's my review of One Piece's first step into animation. The movie starts off with Roger's legendary execution, but honestly I don't like it as much as future renditions. But I can't really blame them for not showing it in detail, considering that they only have about 30 minutes to tell a story almost completely unrelated to Roger, so I kind of just glad it's there. Then we jump over to our protagonists, Luffy, Zoro, and Nami. That's right, that's how early this movie was made. The Starlight Pirates were barely even formed yet, and they didn't even have their iconic ship. Luffy and Zoro are complaining about not having any food. Then, a giant dinosaur with a samurai helmet comes and attacks their ship. In typical Luffy and Zoro fashion, they attempt to turn it into food, but then it takes Nami, and it seems like this movie will be about getting it back, which I'm kind of disappointed by. I don't like stories like that for the most part, but this is only the first couple seconds, so it's not a huge deal. I don't know what the rest of the story is going to be like. After the attack, Luffy and Zoro end up on the same island Nami was taken to, by complete accident, by the way, and they run into a girl who hates pirates, and we see the first animated Gum Gum attack ever, which is great looking, honestly one of the best in the entire series in my opinion. We learn that Medaka, the girl's father, is stuck in a tower run by Ganzack, the main villain of the episode, which gives her motivation to tag along with them for the rest of it. So, she offers them food to beat him, which fits very well with Luffy's character. But something that doesn't is how nonchalant he is about Nami being captured by the dinosaur. He really doesn't seem to care about it. He's just like, oh, it'll be okay. Which isn't like Luffy at all. Like, if it was Zoro who got captured, I could see that, but like, it's Nami, and he has no idea where she is. Then they go to the tower, and through some classic One Piece shenanigans, Luffy ends up on the beach, abandoning Zoro to fight in the tower by himself. Then we get the first encounter with Ganzack, who seems really cool. I like the crab theme he has going on, and his voice actor is great. I love him. The fight with Luffy is also really well animated, even though it just ends in a couple seconds. Nami also shows back up in this scene, so I guess my earlier prediction was wrong, and I'm very happy about that. But she did, like, quote-unquote, betray Luffy, so that's something, I guess. Luffy and Zoro then get captured by Ganzack, and we get to see the animators flex their muscles once again, though this time it's on something as simple as talking. It reminds me of the over-the-top opening. It's great. The scene in Ganzack's throne room only makes me like him more. He's pretty funny. He's sort of like Buggy was in the first arc he appeared in. Ganzack has this gag where, like, whenever Luffy calls him a crab, he gets, like, progressively angrier. Just like how Buggy was with his nose. After a quick revolt, Ganzack reveals that the citizens were making a ship for him, and that ship begins bombarding the island in another amazingly animated sequence. This might be my favorite in the whole movie. Then, there's the climax. Luffy, Zoro, and Medaka go on Ganzack's ship. And honestly, the fight was kind of disappointing. It had some cool moments, like Luffy deflecting bullets for the first time, and the very first I'm gonna be king of the pirates, right? But it has some pretty subpar animation compared to the rest of the movie, or episode, in this case, I guess. But Luffy literally murders Ganzack at the end, so that's something. Well, that's it for the summary. Now, onto the more miscellaneous things. First up is the voice acting. It's pretty good all around. They all fit the characters fine, though I just want to mention that the voice actress of Luffy does a lot of Japanese dubs, right? And I noticed something kind of weird. She voiced Mariah Carey in a mediocre mockumentary film called Pop Star. No hate to her, but that just kind of stood out to me. I don't know why, I find that funny. The soundtrack is also pretty decent. I wouldn't mind hearing some of the music in the anime. All in all, it's pretty good. I admit that I kinda got my hopes up after seeing the director, but considering that it's basically just a pilot episode for the anime, it's pretty good. I really like the early East Blue saga, and this OVA fits that vibe perfectly, though it's not nearly as emotional as those arcs, and that's fine. They only had about 25 minutes to establish One Piece and make a standalone story, so I don't think emotional impact was their goal. They just wanted a fun adventure, and that's what we got. I want to be able to say more, but Defeat Him, the Pirate Ganzack, is really uneventful, mostly due to it being the length of like a normal episode, so it doesn't really have the time to establish a compelling story, or even for very much to even happen. But that's not a bad thing. It's only 25 minutes, so I'm not expecting deep storylines or anything. It just doesn't lend itself to a review. If you're a fan of One Piece, specifically the earlier stuff, I'd really recommend you watch this. It's not like spectacular, it's not gonna like, blow your mind, but it's interesting to see where One Piece in animation started. And, well, it's only 20 minutes, so you're not losing anything. Like if you end up not liking it, you only lost an episode's worth of time. So, if you're a One Piece fan, definitely check it out. It's a good one. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the review, please consider subscribing for more. I'm gonna be pumping these out until I finish all 14. So, it's gonna be a long ride. This was only 7 minutes because I was reviewing a 25-minute episode. The movies are like an hour plus long each, so that's gonna take a lot longer to do. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll be back hopefully in a week or two for the next one.